Hello, good evening, and welcome to Upfront. On the very first edition of this year's show, we'll tackle an existential issue and ask whether we as humans can deal with the very things that continue to threaten our existence and sustenance of creation as a whole. My guest is a reverend minister who has spent the last 40 years in ministry. Throughout the period, he has also been critically examining the issues of importance to the state and perhaps to the global community. And tonight, he has a suggested way forward. Reverend Professor Prof. Frimpong-Manso is also the president of the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council. And he has so many portfolios that sometimes it's difficult to wonder where he fits in all of these conversations. But Reverend is also a man who has set up an institution that's supposed to deal with the same existential questions I mentioned earlier on. Reverend, you're welcome to our front.
Thank you.
I hope you are doing well today.
By the grace of God.
And Happy New Year. This is the first time New Year meeting you. The last time we spoke, I gave you trouble about Galamsey and your prayers on the ground at Galamsey sites got you into trouble.
Yes.
Many were very displeased with your conduct, but generally, I hope you are in good health.
By the grace of God, I'm doing very, very well.
Yes. And you see, there are things that mostly we do generally in conversations. We like to have direct conversations about, let's say, Galamsey. We like to have direct conversations about the economy. We mostly also would enjoy a conversation about dealing with social issues, education, and all of that. When you put all of them together, the Human Development Index says a compendium of them is what makes a complete man. Survive in the world and actually prosper. But you have actually introduced a conversation about reforming this world.
Great.
Of course, reforming Ghana too.
Yes.
I mean, ordinarily, these are supposed to be not pulpit-oriented conversations. So pastors are not the ones who should lead the conversation. But I want to believe you're not just a pastor. Why is any thought that we are facing an existential threat relevant to you?
Thank you very much. I also want to wish you a Happy New Year and your cherished listeners. I like the word existential. You brought it. One of the ideas propagated by Søren Kierkegaard, a Danish theologian. And he sees man as walking, hanging in a crossroad, who doesn't know what path to take. See, always you have to weigh and argue and think. And so he sees that you are lost, completely lost, even in multitudes. So man, with all the things that the Lord has provided, the weather, the environment, friends, society, cultures, and all those things, we are always struggling to exist. So I like the word. When I saw the word existential, I really enjoyed that word. But coming back, you said a pastor. When you are a pastor or a reverend minister, well, you are preaching the gospel that people will repent and believe and go to heaven. But somebody have said that if you don't think about the social aspects of man, how they live on earth, they will die before they receive the gospel. So as we preach heaven, heaven should also be interpreted in a way we live and relate with one another and appreciate the things that God himself has given us, the culture, our values, and all the things that makes us human beings.
That's interesting. Now, I'm getting this point from you because there's a part of it that I want clarity on. Whatever you do, you do not only think that preaching is the way forward. In fact, you give a very, very dangerous path that we are pursuing. We say we are in a distorted global and national, social, economic arrangements. We know that our economy is not doing well.
Yes.
We know that currently we are not so much in the best of states. And you also talk about disoriented national culture and values.
Yes.
Intellectual and leadership failures. You also said that we have challenges with globalization, climate change, of course, all of those are also facts. Threat of terrorism, wars and pandemic. But you rarely believe that the compendium of factors you have listed, which threaten our very existence, can be resolved. Are we not just heading towards what is inevitable?
Yeah. Well, man is pushing himself or herself towards the inevitable, but there's always an intervention. You see, I like what we are saying, because man, when I say man, I see man as a spirit, as a soul, and a body. So when we are preaching the gospel, meeting the spiritual things, the soulish aspects, the mental capacity, we should also tackle. And then the body in which the soul and the spirit resides. And the context is what I have framed, the global distortions, cybercrime, political leadership failure, environmental, all the things are moving towards destruction. Today, I was watching the BBC News and they said Europe is experiencing abnormally high temperatures, while US is experiencing abnormal low temperatures, and they are attributing it to climate change and the rest. But who is causing the climate change? We will not attribute it to ourselves, our selfishness, our greediness, the way we want to be better than the other. You know, this morning I was thinking about something. I just want to bring it across. That's the way I think. I went to school in Britain. In the late 80s, they have abolished the production of coal because they thought coal is destroying their environment. That was where there was that confused Margaret Thatcher's era where there was a lot of coups, the unions fought, but they say coal is destroying them. That was in the late 80s. They stopped it. And the same people will cause you to destroy your forests so that they will get timber, rivers so that they will get coal, rocks so that they will get bauxite. See how the world is playing. And if the leadership of the other side of the world will not take the matter into their hands and they will depend upon what certain nations are craving for, they are hungry for. So Ghana, because gold is being sold, because this is being needed, because they want bauxite, they want diamond, they want this, let us send them and destroy our livelihood. It's a paradox.
It's not interesting because you are painting the picture of how, in an era where many people are talking about how to preserve the environment and all of that, we are doing the opposite of it. And we are doing it so wantonly that we are unsure how we are even fighting it anyway. But you suggest a way forward. You say there's a problem with, you say critically needed are national, regional, and global institutions that research, advocate, and provide factual, honest, and unadulterated views of happenings to enable users change approaches, transform lives, and provide hope and ensure sustainable creation. I mean, what really do you mean? Because we have research institutions. We have so many of them. And we have those who are dedicated to various sectors, from climate change straight down to economics, also to even the very things they talk about here.
Let me give you the background of where I'm coming from. After being a pastor for 40 years and beyond, I have met and interacted with a lot of people, including yourself, who are very intelligent, who have a lot of things to offer, who are resourceful, but some of them do not get the opportunity even to be heard. And some of them also are doing their own things in their corners. So I said, what can I do at, will I say, the twilight of my existence, after pastoring, leading a church and the rest? And the Bible says, at old age, you will bear fruit. The Bible also says that occupy till I come. He didn't say retire till I come. So you are retired from active service, but you can still be relevant. So seeing the myriad, or I would say 100-headed problems of our world, seeing that a lot of institutions exist, but they are doing the same thing, business as usual, I don't see the paradigm shift to meet the 21st century man and the 21st century crisis. In fact, it is a religious jargon, and as it was in the beginning, and now and ever shall be, well without end. So institutions are in abundance, but they are doing the same thing. I want to talk about a certain theologian called Karbath. He said, in the time of enlightenment, let the dogmatic slumber sleep. So he was saying that it is not time to just go and recite creeds and say, we believe, and come. We should change the methodology. We should change the approach. So what the institution that I'm trying to birth is to bring these people together, throw away the old idea, the old ways of doing things, embrace what we call paradigm shift, new ideas to meet new challenges. So it will not just be the normal roundtable conferences, writing here and there, giving papers and the rest, them wanting somebody to do it. Our approach is practical, where we will see issue, we will write about it, we will discuss it, we will bring stakeholders, but then we will do something. We will bring a change. So the focus of Frimpong-Manso Institute, or what I'm trying to bring, is bringing a change to the way people think, the way people do things, and tell everybody that it's the government, it is the president, it is my father, it is my mother, it is the Bretton Woods institution. We should come out from that idea and begin to think about what we can do with the little we have to make a change. So this institute will follow the normal processes to identify issues and problems and challenges, but we will not look to somebody to give the solution. We are a solution-oriented institute. The other thing that makes it a little bit different is that normally one institution will deal with politics, fiscal matters, youth, this and that. But ours is going to be cut across. So with this institute, there's going to be a chair for theology and ministry. There are a lot of things in the pastoral landscape that need to be addressed. Of course, the almighty prophetic issues is one. So their department will deal with that, with a credible person being the chair of it. Then we have an institute, part of the institute, somebody who will be dealing with ICT and all the cyber crimes. Today, we are crying, galamsey, destroying our water bodies for money. And somebody uses a mobile phone and becomes a billionaire. And we have mobile phones, it's only text messages and Facebooks and WhatsApps. So we are going to tell people that the laptop that is there, the telephone that you are holding can make you rich. We thank God for the digitization agenda, but we are not politicians, so we are not talking politics. But we want people to move from being analog, hard copy, hard file things to embrace technology. Then we have another institution where we are going to do women and gender and issues that relates to them. Another one is going to do leadership, governance, and all vision and goal setting. Another one is going to do with science, cutting edge science. One of the scientists I was talking about yesterday said, in Ghana, we are doing health, but not science. So proper science that relates to human beings, not theoretical science to give us PhDs and degrees. And our gutters are choked, fulfilled. And everything is imported, and we are saying we are doing science.
Can one institution, no matter how diverse it is, address all these problems? Schools have failed at doing it. International organizations, without the competence and the resources available to, I also feel that doing the same thing. Can an institution based in the Republic of Ghana do and deliver these goals, mindful of how serious these issues are?
Can anything good come out of Nazareth? Ghana, our problem is, if something comes from the West, it is good. That's why we do a lot of institutions here. Trained men are here, and we bring young boys to become consultants and take our money. And we have people who know our weather, our climate, our environment. We go and take money from Bretton Woods institutions, and we bring young boys, teenagers, who haven't gone through anything, write papers, consultants, and we have them here. So I'm telling you, with the human resources that Ghana has, including you, you are an expert in your area, I'm not flattering you. If we will mobilize these human resources and let them see that Ghana is our nation, and we have to build it, and we throw away politics. I mean, the institution is apolitical. We throw away politics. It is generational that we vision. Like this institution is not for Frimpong-Manso. It is going to center around a vision. John Maxwell said, if you build an institution around a personality, the person dies and the institution dies. But if it is around a vision and the people call the vision, the person will die. The institution will still exist. That's why we still have Harvard. We still have Yale. We still have Oxford. We still have Legon or KNUSC at Chimota because it was built on a vision. And the other thing that I want to say about this institution is integrity. One of the things, if you say our part of the world, many people pursue things to feed this body. The clothes they will wear, the big car they will sit in, the posh houses they will sit in, and to tell everybody that they are the best. So the passion is what comes to them. And if you have that kind of passion, you are going to fail. That's why a lot of leaders have failed. Jesus Christ came, and when he died, somebody had to give him a tomb to be buried. He said, forces of old, forces and birds of the earth have nests, and the Son of Man have nowhere to, they said. So we are mobilizing people for this institution who are not politically exposed. If you are politically exposed, you are not part of it. Because we don't want the NDC, MPP story.
But won't you be sidelining a huge section of our population who are required to be
No, everybody's a politician and everybody votes. But I mean, I'm talking about politically exposed.
Yeah, but for example, if the person is politically exposed and yet has the experience and may be in the position to make the needed change that you think we require in this.
Yeah, I like your, we will think about it. I have been serving in some institutions, I can't mention names, where some people, no matter how they are not allowed to be part because they are politically exposed.
Oh, I see.
Because Ghanaian mentality is so, I mean, is it limited or his NDC, his MPP? And immediately people have put themselves in this bracket. They refuse to see the good thing in that person. Some of our politicians have got something good, but because I am from this tradition or that tradition, I even refuse to listen to them. So we are saying that for the sake of unity, for the sake of acceptability, we are not going to be so much politics or do anything political. Of course, politics is talking about people's welfare, so talking about welfare of people we will do.
Okay.
We are also thinking about, let me see, integrity is as our call mat. We want to be independent. I have seen a lot of think tanks or groups or civil societies. Some people pay them and they play their drums, they play to their tune.
In Ghana here?
I will not use the word in Ghana, but even globally.
Oh, okay, but
so it could be that in Ghana.
Oh, okay.
So subtly, people will come, give you here and there, and they will tell you, do what I want to do. Let me tell you a story about a pastor. Somebody was doing that in the church who was doing everything wrong, but you give the pastor a lot of money. So if you want to enjoy life, don't preach about my life, don't preach about my morality. And so for several years, the pastor was not preaching about those things.
Oh, I see.
And the guy was giving him money. But one day, the Holy Spirit came upon the pastor and he said, shoe or no shoe, praise the Lord, I will preach about it. So we don't want a young institution that is going to be born or yet to be birthed, hijacked by the power players.
Okay.
So we are saying we are apolitical, we are going to be independent.
Now, all of these things, I mean, many institutions have also had similar ideas of building a better Ghana, building a better world, and improving the structures of this world. It ends up being on the shelves. Documents, reports, there's a plethora of them in Legon and other places.
Yes.
In fact, not long ago, I had a conversation with Prof. Atugba and Co. and Prof. Nesaite, and they were reflecting how the solutions to our current problems are so obvious to us that if we had just followed the right path and done what is right, I mean, economic problems anyway, we would have really not been where we are today.
Yes.
Is it really to do with a vacuum that's yet to be filled, or just that the human beings themselves are problematic and ought to change?
Well, three things. Normally, when you are writing a thesis, they want you to be original, but you can address three things. First, Either there's a vacuum to be filled, or something that has been created but you disagree totally, and you are bringing the alternative, or something that is there and is inadequate. So you want to contribute to add to make it complete or your version. So yes, there is a vacuum because most of the institutions that I see, they are normally one-sided. I'm doing election politics, I am doing youth, I'm doing women, I'm doing children. But ours is more like a consortium. In fact, the structure is going to be like this. Various chairs will be in charge of various areas. Media and security. We have media and security. We have science and health. We have women, gender, and the rest. We have leadership. We have, so there will be chairs, and the position of the chairs are for two things: quality assurance or quality control and ethics. You know, we are going to produce papers, research papers, and other things, roundtable discussions, and we want the quality of our papers to be of a PhD or say doctoral standard, where plagiarism and those kind of things are not going to be part. And two, we believe in ethics. So we don't write paper or we don't give a speech or something that you hurt somebody or you cause emotional or physical injury. So the chairs are going to handle that. Then after the chairs, we are going to have fellows. I think you will be a fellow.
Okay.
Fellow will be people who have excelled in their field with a certain number of years, and they've got international caliber. They have written articles, researches, peer reviews, and the rest. So they will be the people who will be delivering our lectures, who will be handling the seminars, who will be doing the programs. Then thirdly will be the associates, young scholars or young leaders who have excelled in their field, but they are coming. They will be brought on board to learn from the fellows so that together we will go out. So this one is a cut across. So we talk about the institute. It is a run about the vision for a better Ghana and the world. But that vision is not maintaining the status quo, not doing business as usual. I always say that for several years, people were sailing to India, China, and the rest through the eastern route. Then came a time there were pirates and people who were attacking them as they were sailing to the east. So Christopher Columbus said, I will sail to the east. I will sail to that place, but I will go through the west. So when he set sail, the first place he reached was Hispaniola, Dominican Republic, and Haiti. And they call it West Indies. So he thought he has reached India, not knowing that the whole continent of America was there. And through going by the different direction, a continent was discovered, and now the most powerful nation on earth is as a result of somebody sailing different way. So there's going to be a paradigm shift. For Frimpong-Manso Institute, we have come to see all what the others are doing. We are learning from them. We are gleaning from them. For a lot of things, we are not reinventing. But the way we are going to discharge our work is going to be completely different. The people who do the studies and the research, the people who come for the lectures and the training and seminars, they are going to be the people who are supposed to do it. You said that we have done a lot. They will go and the government should do it. The chief should do it. Like this guy, I'm saying. For me, I know that some of the institutions have failed us. We, the Ghanaians, those people in the villages where the Galamsey people come, what do? Recently, Galamsey people went to my village in Ashanti region called Fufu. The people said, we don't want it.
Oh, I see.
Together, and thank God our DCE and the MP, Benito, they supported it, and within 3 days, all the machines and everything was taken away.
Of course, he's a deputy lands minister.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if the people will have the willpower to say, we don't want poverty, so we will grow groundnut. We don't want debt, so we will clean our environment. We will not wait for the government to bring people to come and clean our environment. We have seen that our roads are bad. What can we do to help our road before the government comes? I grew up in a village. Every week, The older men will go and weed around. The women will sweep and go to the refuge dam, the toilets, and clean. We, even the boys, will do something. And the villages were clean because you will not think about DCE, a certain government coming from here to do this. When the school building pulls down, the men will go to the bush, cut trees, and build. Everything was,
resolved by the people.
Yeah. And I believe that if this institute is going to do anything, we are going to inculcate a culture in the people to believe in themselves, to change their environment. If your water is bad and somebody is in Accra drinking a tap water and you will not do something to protect your water, you want somebody to come from Accra to change your water for you to drink, it's your own problem. You have to do something to make sure that your water is clean.
You mentioned Galamsey, so of course I know that you in the Christian Council have been working on it.
Yes.
How far with your advocacy?
Oh, it's a process. So far, we've met the minister, we've met some people, and a process has come. Illegal, Small Scale Miners Association has also come on board to join. They believe that, when people say Galamsey, they think all miners are Galamsey, but some are registered small scale miners who are playing according to the rules, and they want to join. And I think some of the chiefs, prominent chiefs like Asante Hene, Ochehene, and others have also spoken. So it's a process. It's going to be long, but I believe we will go there. To me, this is a process of evolution, not revolution.
I get your point, but you came under fire by people who felt all that you did was go and pray at Galamsey's side, hoping for a miracle.
I mean, that was unfortunate, unfair, wrong, but we've forgiven them. For nation building, we must accommodate all these things. As Christians, we pray in our homes. Whatever we do, we say God first. We wanted to go and see what was happening and then do a press conference and tell the public and engage a conversation and a discourse that will bring everybody on board. So, in fact, you even gave us one of your journalists, and he did a good work. I mean, the guy from Joy FM, I give him thumbs up. So, we went together. We even went to see the local chief there and visited places. But when we went there, we feel as Christians, we should pray and thank God for our land and also pray for divine protection, and God give us wisdom as to what to do. But we did not move there to go and pray for Galamsey to stop. But somebody, probably whether he was mischievous or he wanted to, mock at us or do something, unfortunately gave that reportage. And some other social commentators and journalists will not call, and they jump the bandwagon just to humiliate men of God, but it's part of our work.
Was it disappointing? Did they get the people within clergy worried about whether or not you are doing the right thing or not?
Well, some of them were, but some of them knew that some journalists want to be heard that way. Let me tell you, sometimes I keep quiet. I have a friend who was doing PhD, and his professor said, if you write all the good things, nobody will take you serious. Okay. So try to be radical and write things that will make you popular.
Oh,
so it was everywhere. So you write, did Jesus rise from the dead? Oh, Jesus did not rise. Every Christian is preaching Jesus rose from the dead. Yes. So if you say that he did not rise, it's a news. So sometimes the journalists use that approach to get the attention. But let me tell you, in the midst of a vice, there is virtue. So that's Aristotle. So the vice was, we went there to pray. People want that news. So in the midst of that, it drew the national attention that the clergy went to pray. But in the midst of that, we were able to carry the news across that we did not go there to pray, but we went there to let the world know what is happening. Even though those who were mocking us about the prayer, they also saw what I said. Don't we have DCE? So it's a way. I mean, some of us sometimes...
There's another point, though. You wanted small-scale mining ended. Have you changed your mind?
Well, we wanted to end it until all the necessary arrangements have been made. The conversation we have heard from the ministry or from the system is that you don't throw the baby together with the bathwater. There are some who are genuinely doing good things, obeying the rules. You go to where they work, but there are others who are doing even illegal mining in the name of our small-scale mining. So I think together we are all, working together to sort them out. Like we wanted a simplistic approach.
Okay.
That would be simplistic approach. Stop illegal mining. Let us give ourselves 6 months or 1 year to go through the whole system.
Like we did from the beginning
of
of 2017.
And do something. Others also feel people are doing legal small-scale mining, and they are being monitored. So why don't we take time to go through the process and see those who are doing the right thing? And I tell you, the small-scale miners have said they are going to be part of the policing to make sure that others do not destroy some of them, the good works that they are doing.
Now, there was a point, though, since you came out and did a press conference till now, have you seen any change in how we are managing?
Slowly, gradually.
Really?
I will not say much. Somebody has said a journey of 1,000 miles, begin with the first step. There is a slow, at least it's a process. I will not say much change. Still, the waters are brown. Still, people are doing it, and I think that's why I'm saying that about 2 weeks ago, some people went to my village. So I think they are there, but at least there's awareness. I have always said, change is mental. So unless the people have developed the mental capacity to see how Galamsey is being destroying us, you do it physically, it doesn't work. I don't know whether I told you a story here. A child was playing naughty, and the mother said, sit down. He said, I won't sit down. Sit down, sit down. So he sat down. He said, I'm sitting down, but in my heart, I'm standing up.
I see.
So I believe in gradual changes. So basically, I was not expecting let there be light, and there was
sudden change.
So let us keep talking about it. Somebody has said, even if you pour water on a rock for a long time, it will break. So Galamsey has been endemic. And as we talk, we should start teaching our children in school about the environment, about the rivers and water bodies, how useful they are. And probably one generation will pass as we progress. Another generation will come who will understand the conversation better and help preserve sanity.
Now, there is one more thing, though. Those who think that because leadership has failed, we need new leadership to fight Galamsey. What do you think?
What do you mean by new leadership?
As in,
new people that we are going to give birth to them.
Oh no!
Because what leadership?
From the DCs straight to the mining inspectors, straight to the ministries and the people who head it at various levels. Do you think that we should change leadership?
This is a big question because these people have trained those under them.
Yeah, that's true.
And they have trained those under them. So if you change them now, what is the guarantee that the new leaders who are coming will perform magic? For me, it should be education. Let us pray and allow them to face off. You know, the reason people are not changing is greediness. So if we can get another crop of leaders who are not thinking about buying big cars, building big houses, sending their children to Harvard and Yale and Oxford, who will not want, if you get that kind of leaders, probably there will be a change. But if you get people, whenever he comes, within 3 years, 4 years, he wants his life to change. He wants everything around him to change. He wants to be seen.
Okay.
Then you can put on and bring another leaders. They will do the same thing.
How about we put religious leaders in charge?
No, the religious leaders, some religious leaders have failed. In fact, if you say that Ghana has got 70% Christians, and we are seeing what we are seeing, then I'm not trying to exonerate the church from the problem. When we talk about Galamsey, 70% of the Galamseyers will be religious personnel.
Okay.
So there are some nations, few people are Christians, and they are doing better. Sometimes
it's not an indictment on Christianity.
I mean, sometimes I don't understand the kind of Bible people read. When they read, you are the salt and the light. And they cannot demonstrate that salt and the light at where they are. So, please, I mean, we have all failed. You know, sometimes we must be honest. I remember one time, I said, if you are saying Ghana is a corrupt country, I said that 70% of them are Christians. Then the Frimpong-Manso said that 70% of Christians are corrupt. Oh, yeah.
That's interesting.
But sometimes Obama had in shame with the numbers. People who troop to churches, watch night, Easter, Christmas, and all the gatherings. And we are seeing what we are seeing. It really disturbs me. Seriously.
Really?
Sometimes, I mean, I think about it.
So they are professing Christians and not practicing Christians?
More professing Christians. Ghanaians should not just joke we are 70%. There are more nominal professing Christians. Jesus said, you people honor me with your lips, but your hearts, you are far from me. So it is true. If even Sodom and Gomorrah was going to be destroyed, the Lord said, if you can get even 10 men righteous. I mean, people are worshiping their belly, they are worshiping money, they are worshiping possessions, they are worshiping all sorts of things except Christ, whom they call the Lord.
I have to take a break, but there's a final question I need to ask you about this Galamsey thing. What is the next line of action for Christian Council? You, the church leaders, you, the people at the helm of what they call it, religious leadership.
Okay, pray, preach, teach, and become examples. To me, if we, the Christians, will use the pulpit, and of course the Muslims and others, and preach and talk about it, and they will become examples. It's not a matter of demonstrations, fighting here and there, even though we said we would do this, and I'm for it. At least sometimes you have to register your anger and disappointment by demonstration for the world to know that you are against some of these things. But if we, the leaders, ourselves, and our church members, we will preach and teach them and talk to them about patriotism. Ghana belongs to us. So let us preserve Ghana. And we will become keepers of pra, densu, of fin, and cobra, beer, and the rest. It will be better.
So there won't be demonstrations any longer?
I cannot say that.
Yeah, because part of the roadmap, you said that along the line, you actually protest beyond wearing the armbands, the red ones.
Well, there's something is happening underground, which is a process.
Oh.
There's a dialogue going on.
Okay.
And if you say that I'm going to do this, and the leaders say, brothers, we've seen your challenge. We have also seen the challenge. Let us reason together. We thank God we met the minister himself. Our request has, reached the president, and all the major stakeholders have seen our emotions, our feelings, our interests, and they said, let us work together. So it's a process. This is not law. The lawyers say the wheels of justice ground slowly. Yeah. The wheels of Galamsey even ground more slowly. Because somebody's livelihood, somebody's making money. True. Somebody said that when you talk about Galamsey, it's not a guy at Birimo or the guy who lives somewhere who have bought the machines,
Okay, that's it.
who send them there, the guy who buys them and send them to somewhere. Do you know that about almost 90% of Galamsey money doesn't even pass through proper hands?
I see.
They are smuggled out. Ghana doesn't get anything. And we are in this country. And we know. How is it that somebody come from China, he's meeting in a village at Brim or in a village at Kenyago? Will the person in China know that there is a gold in that village? Somebody brings the person and lead the person there. So it's a process. So for me, I always, Asante say, yeah, the brebre granted here. So one of the greatest achievements is to create the national conversation about this canker. Something has started. It's a process. It's going to be long, but if we exercise patience, listen to one another, we will get somewhere.
We'll take a break. My guest, Reverend Professor Prof. Frimpong-Manso. We've been talking about a lot of things. More importantly, that institution that's supposed to help this country weather most of its problems and make sure that we avert what's a looming danger ahead of us. After the break, continue the conversation Upfront. You're welcome back. This is Upfront. My name is Raymond Acquah. We're having a conversation about transforming this country. At the core of it, what can be done directly on it. But the man I have in the studio is also a man who's been doing a lot of work. For example, he's the president of the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council. I've seen your questions about, and I'll ask him those your questions. The question that was coming in when we were having the conversation is that it appears that the very thought you have in mind about the bringing together people of different backgrounds, it appears to be Christocentric, so it's more like Christian organization. Would they accept Muslims, for example, and other faith?
I use the word faith-based.
Okay.
But I'm a Christian, and I also work through my faith. But if you are not a Christian and you are very resourceful, and you think about the nation, why not? You see, so for me, Christian, faith-based. But we have Christian schools, but we have Muslims and others who goes to that school. But you will not come to change our ethics, our focus, or the reason for our existence. So if you are coming and you are a Muslim, but you are not going to challenge that, drop the name Jesus aside, I'm offended. I'm a pragmatist.
Okay.
In fact, these days, if you want to succeed, you have to be pragmatist. There are a lot of things I can learn from my brother Muslims, even from their holy book. There are a lot of good things for them. So there are a lot of things I can learn from every institution, and they can also learn something from us. So if you are from any background and you want to come and you will not feel offended for me to say Jesus is Lord and my Savior, and I worship him, I have no problem.
There's a point though that's also asked. The point we're talking about Galamsey, and it's because it's essential to this. The question was asked. The president had just said that Akonta mining is not involved in any illegal mining of a sort. He said has not been involved in any at all. Now, mindful of those of you who are at the forefront of the fight against this, does this in any way, it's almost like exonerating the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the NPP anyway. Does it in any way go against the fight?
Well, to me, no.
Okay.
Whether he is part Akonta mining is right or wrong, for me, what I know is that Brim is a muddy water, and Cobra is muddy water. Tano is a muddy water. All that I want to see is that the waters become clean.
Okay.
So if we are going to pick on certain individuals and statements and what politicians say or what people say, we will be so much frustrated and we will do nothing. You see what I started? This institution is going to address issues. We will let the policymakers know what is happening. Okay. But we will not wait on them. We will not expect them to do much because they won't do. Oh, really? But we will do whatever we can. Yeah, if the river in my village is getting mad, and I'm drinking a muddy water, and I'm looking for somebody from Accra to come and tell the people to clean the water. They will either come or not. So why don't I mobilize my friends there and protect and clean the water? So in fact, not this president or past president or previous presidents. The reason why in Ghana we are suffering is that everything should be the government. Everything should be the president. Everything should be the MP. That's why they even pay people school fees. They go to funerals, they do this, they do this, they do this. It's high time we begin to be self-responsible. And so if Akontama is for who or not who, that is not my problem. All that I want to see is that the Tano River is clean. So what do I do to make the Tano River clean?
Now, another question, not on the legal mining though. Yes, maybe I'm wrapping up with these ones because of my time. You pushed as Christian leaders for the anti-LGBT bill. It's been almost a year. It's been a very long time. No progress made on this bill.
We are praying. The wheel, some of these things, it takes a long time. And let us continue to pray.
The last time I told they didn't have money as a committee.
Well, let us see what, it is not only this bill.
Okay.
The affirmative action bill.
Okay.
The whistleblower bill. And there have been a lot of bills that have been so long. So let us not fight them. Let us just wait and exercise restraint. I think one day, probably, they will address it. And whatever way it goes, let us accept it. I believe that Christians should not fight if Parliament goes this way or that way. Jakum says, where Tefre and we are saying, let us just exercise restraint and pray for our parliamentarians and ask for more grace and wisdom in handling this issue. Let me say that nobody, at least me, nobody should hate or stone or kill or maim or destroy somebody because of his orientation. Okay. So let us allow whatever.
But they've been briefing you, the leaders of clergy.
Not really. I don't think. For a long time, I haven't been following this much. I know it is in the good hands, and I trust in our parliamentarians, and I know the Lord will guide them and give them wisdom in handling this. So let us trust them and let them do. And in fact, my institution is not going to be a forerunner of this thing at all. We are not thinking about. We have to be focused on other things. So let the coalition of family values and others think about other things. We don't want to create a barrier. That's why we are non-political, we are not this, we are not this. We don't want to create any barrier that will exclude anybody from being or getting an opportunity to give what he has to help Mother Ghana.
The Christian group you lead, charismatics and Pentecostals, you have once again come under a lot of criticism after some pastors ostensibly defied the directives by the IGP to comply with a certain way of delivering end-year prophecies. At the core of it, the conversation is what can be done. On one hand, you don't want to restrict people's freedom of religion. On the other hand, you don't want them to offend others too. What can be done to fix this problem?
Yeah. Thank you. You see, many people mistakenly or unknowingly think that all the prophets belong to, or some of them belong to, Pentecostal and Charismatic Council. And almost 100% of them, they are not members. We have Christian Council of Ghana. We have Catholic Secretariat. We have Pentecostal Charismatic Council, National Association, NAC, and Bishop. That has been also got Charismatic Bishops Conference. So for we, the Pentecostal and Charismatic Council, we don't have some of these people within our ranks. So that's, many people always ask me.
Okay.
Secondly, prophecy. A lot of people call me within the Christmas period, and I said, I won't comment on this because there are certain things. Why is it that only 31st night or Christmas period that they give prophecy? Prophecy should be part and parcel of Christian service throughout the year. And we go to our churches, Pentecost, Assemblies of God, Presby, we give prophecies throughout the year. Prophecy is to exhort, encourage, and edify. So the kind of prophecies about doom, about killing, about to me, it's not New Testament prophecy. So I don't want to.
Should we disregard them?
I will disregard almost 100% of them. I would say 99% of them, if not 100, do not pass the biblical standard of prophecies. Even though some could come to pass, there are certain things, it's a common sense. If you go to a church of 100 people, young girls, I will say that there's a girl looking for a husband. By all means, a girl is looking for a husband. If you meet 100 men, you'll say that at least there's a man who has got a backpack. You see, Christmas is happening. Drivers are rushing here and there. You say that there's going to be an accident. You haven't said anything. So some of them are just generic, common sense things that happen. A prominent man is going to die. Who is that prominent man? 365 days. There are so many prominent men in Ghana. At least one will die. And if it's normal. So there are certain things, after all, if you die, what is it? So they play on intelligence, elections, one will win, one will lose. In Ghana, there are two parties.
Mostly two.
There are others, they will never tell you that this party will win or this party. They will always talk about the two parties. There are certain things you see there, and it's obvious, and they just confuse us.
Yeah.
Please, prophets, forgive me, but some of us, I'm a Pentecostal, I'm a charismatic, I believe in prophecy, I speak in tongues, I preach. But please, I wish I would tell Ghanaians to disregard some of these things and carry on life because they are just causing confusion and disturbing us. I know they will insult me,
Reverend.
But if they insult me, it's part and parcel of the ministry.
Reverend,
I don't hate them anyway.
If the Frimpong-Manso Institute is finally launched, we'll have a bigger conversation on it. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
My time is up. Many thanks to you for joining us on the first edition of Upfront this year. Thank you so much, Reverend.